Hey Zach, did you know that Stellantis is aiming to cut EV production costs by 40% in just 7.5 years?
Justin, did you know that Stellantis, I forget which industry report it was, but whatever it was, for how well suppliers work with automakers, ranked last in terms of their relationships with their suppliers? Did you know that? Did you know that?
No, but that doesn't really make sense considering that now Stellantis says that they are going to be harnessing their relationships with suppliers to bring prices for EVs down by 40% by 2030. The dots don't connect there, Zach.
No, they really, really don't. So Stellantis, obviously, just like all other automakers, recognizes that electric vehicles are super expensive, and the way that they're going to become more profitable and more in the hands of more people is if they can drive the price of them down. Now, driving the price of them down requires your suppliers to be able to drive the prices of them down, and Stellantis has terrible relationships with their suppliers, worst in the industry. I know we recently heard from leadership at Stellantis that said the whole car market could actually crumble if we're not able to figure out ways to produce EVs more cost efficiently.
Yeah, Chief Manufacturing Officer Arnaud Deboeuf said that the market will collapse if they're not able to make EVs cheaper. Now, as you said, Zach, it's just a little bit fascinating that Stellantis is the one bringing this into the news, considering their recent history with supply chains. However, behind the scenes of the automotive industry's electrification, we're seeing supply chains be completely revamped for electrification. It's no longer going to be talking about oil and things like that. It's going to be talking about batteries. Zach, would you say batteries are the new oil?
I mean, obviously they are, unless Toyota gets their way and it's more hybrid powertrains, which still involves batteries. So yes, batteries are the new oil. Yes.
Yeah, we need a little bit of perspective though. So EV prices are going up pretty quickly. Tesla just raised its prices by about $6,000. Tesla prices are about 32 to 35% more expensive than they were about a year ago. On top of that, we're seeing the average electric vehicle selling for about $9,000 to $11,000 more than a combustion equivalent, apples to apples. Zach, EVs are not affordable in 2022. Do you think that's going to change within the next 5 years? Or are we looking much further down the road?
You know, you're talking to someone who thinks that Toyota is making the right bet here. I think you're going to end up seeing more hybrid powertrains because those are going to be the few that are actually going to be attainable for consumers. Again, Justin, just pulling it up on the screen so you and I can look at it at the same exact time. These are the rankings. Okay, it was from Plante Moran. 2022 North American Automotive OEM Supplier Working Relationships Index Study. You see that? You see that? You see that? Stellantis
doesn't look too healthy.
Got a 128, man. Toyota has 345. These scores reflect their working relationship. So if the name of the game is to drive costs down, which it 100% is, who's going to win there? Stellantis or Toyota? It's going to be Toyota. My supposition, my hunch, Justin, is that you're not going to see headlines of, hey, we're going 100% EV by 2030 a year from now. You're going to see, okay, now we're targeting like 50%, and the other 50% are going to be hybrid. It's just it's unrealistic and quite frankly, probably inefficient to try and change as quickly as some of these automakers are. And Stellantis' CMO is just ringing the alarm bell saying, hey, you know what? The math doesn't pencil right now. And kudos to him for saying it, but good luck in being able to actually affect change.
Looking for a car? Look no further than joinYAA.com. Go check out the cars listed there. There's no BS, no lead gen forms, no anything. Just cars.
To look at it from another perspective, let's say that you're right, Zach, and we're going to take the pessimistic route, and automakers start reshifting their focuses because maybe they have to ration batteries, things like that a few years down the road. Would it make more of a difference for climate change goals and things like that I care about, to see the average fuel economy go from 25 miles per gallon as it is right now to 35 miles per gallon nationwide in the United States? Or would it make a bigger difference if just 2% more of car buyers actually went electric? I would argue that it would make a much bigger difference to bring hybrids higher into the scene in the automotive industry right now, but they may not have a choice from what we're seeing.
Yeah, but don't you interpret at least a little bit these comments from Stellantis' leadership? Essentially, we know that the raw materials costs, and RJ Scaringe, even over at Rivian, I mean, we know the raw materials costs are through the roof to produce electric vehicles. And also, just bringing up the chip shortage, we know the chip costs, the semiconductor costs for electric vehicles are greater than their ICE equivalent. This could be, I think, one of the first headlines that's actually saying, we're not going straight to EV. We're waving the flag. We're saying we're going to go from 25 mile per gallon to 35 mile per gallon because you can do 30 miles of range on your electric engine and the rest is on your gas.
With a lot less batteries, yes.
I think, Justin, at least the way I interpret this is maybe the first domino of many that over the next couple of years will fall that are kind of walking back such an aggressive push towards electrification. That's my 2 cents. That's how I interpret it. At least, when you start to piece together the different parts of the story, that starts to make sense in my mind.
And it looks like Stellantis is having to confront this now rather than later because they're currently developing 5 large battery factories in North America and Europe. 5 battery factories. They're confronting the supply chain issues right now as they prepare to get these factories online by 2030. So hearing them talk about this and changing their tone, it's not really surprising, but it does give a pretty good indication of what may be to come from other automakers.
Definitely. We'll bring more news headlines as they come, particularly around this story. I'd be very curious to see if other leadership, leaders of other OEMs don't start coming out and saying similar things over the next month or two. Maybe Toyota was right all along. Maybe let's just go all in on hybrid powertrains. I would not be surprised if that's what happens here.
Look at us, Zach. We're almost automotive consultants. These guys should be hiring us.
Zach at joinyaa.com. I accept Bitcoin, Western Union.
We've got
cash.
a promo. We've got a promo, don't we, Zach?
We actually do. Thanks for reminding me, Justin. We do have to keep the lights on here. By the time you're watching this video, I don't even know what promotion is running, but if you go to the joinyaa.com website, there's probably a promo running because July is the month of promotions. And go check it out.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks
Jack.
Justin.